What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to Dictate the Day. Welcome back if you've been here, and thank you so much. I really hope you're taking your day. I know you are, okay? I know you are. Let's do it together. Join me in taking the day. I got some crazy clips. Crazy. Like blow the doors off your reality crazy. Get ready, and for entertainment purposes only. Just fun stuff, okay? Something to give you intrigue your thought process as you take your day. You know. Why not? But you know how I like to do it. I like to step into the mode. Find the vibe, join the frequency. Give me just a minute.
Make me happy. You take a hold of me. You take a hold of
All right, we're there. We did it. Frequency locked in. Okay? Frequency locked in. Yeah, I'm in a much better mood today. I put up a video, I guess a day ago. And with all the tragedy going on in the world, I was feeling some sort of way in my feelings, you know. I apologize. It's not my normal modus operandus, if you know what I mean. But I'm better, okay? Thanks for the encouraging words and everyone that messaged me. Thank you, for real. Damn. So I thought, I'm back to my regular scheduled programming. I got a lot of space stuff today. Why not? I love it. There's this new movie coming out, Steven Spielberg. There's no limit to the clips of crazy UFO, this, that, the other. I don't know if they're 100% real. Let's decide together, shall we? As a matter of fact, this first
showing bright orange.
This first clip I got is it's real short. It's like 24 seconds. It's from one of my favorites on the TikTok. Ooh, what is that? Slapped Ham is the name of the channel. He's got a YouTube and everything. It's crazy. It's dark. It's space. It's whatever. It's a bunch of scary stuff too. So be forewarned. Remember, entertainment only. And watch this.
Orbs hovering and moving through the hills near his property.
I mean...
And what makes it even stranger is that these incidents were captured on multiple security cameras over several nights.
Look at that, man. I've never seen any... Okay, I've heard ball lightning.
Showing bright orange orbs hovering and moving through the hills.
I'm going to let this run one more time. It's so short, but it says in the caption here, a former Mexican governor captured glowing orange orbs hovering over the hills near his home. Caught on multiple cameras. We've seen ball lightning before, whatever. It's usually blue. We've heard of orbs. I just thought this is crazy, man. This thing is, I don't know, scanning for something, or I don't know. Is this even something from outer space? Is this a technology? Is this an entertainment purpose only? Is this a DARPA thing? Man, I don't know. Some technology they haven't released to us yet, but they've had it for 20 years. I'm just kidding.
Near his property.
If I saw that, I'm moving away.
And what makes it even stranger is that these incidents were captured on multiple security cameras over several nights. Showing bright orange orbs hovering and moving through.
I just thought it was crazy. I hadn't seen it before, so I thought I'd share. Okay. Let's As one of my favorites says, and I say it all the time too because I love the guy, good old Spanian, les ojos, lads. Les ojos.
So we have a ton of celebrities dying back to back in a short amount of time. What is going on? Now, we've had a multitude of high-profile, legendary actors and singers who all died within a week of each other, including Peter Green, Anthony Gary, Jubilant Sykes, and Rob Reiner, just to name a few. Now, Rob Reiner's situation is very interesting only because of this.
Rob and Michelle Reiner, and I'm very sorry for your loss.
Oh, my God.
How long have you known the Reiners?
We've known them for many, many years, and we were supposed to be seeing them that night.
Excuse me? You said you're gonna meet him that night? And also, who goes on a show the next day to talk about their friend's death? Also, let's not forget what happened to the Obama chef. Not to mention, Rob Reiner and Anthony Gary died on the same day at the same age of 78, and they also acted alongside each other in the show All in the Family. Interesting. But it gets even weirder. So the famous opera singer Jubilant Sykes gets unalived by his own son by being stabbed to death. Just like Rob Reiner and his wife, who get unalived by their own son by getting stabbed to death. Are we seeing a pattern here? Now, not only celebrities are dropping off, but this just happened as well. An MIT nuclear scientist by the name of Nuno Loureiro was just fatally shot in his own home. You mean the same place MIT not only Epstein donated millions of dollars to, but visited dozens of times at the same time Nuno was there. It's also to note that Epstein was very close with Marvin Minsky, the godfather of AI, who co-founded MIT's AI lab. People die every day, but you mean to tell me all this is going on at the same time as the Epstein Files Transparency Act goes into effect Friday? Now, is this going to be a nothing burger? Are we going to see some names that we haven't seen before? Or are we going to see any of these names of these people who were unalived? I don't know, food for thought, time will tell, but make sure you guys hit up my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, and let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
Shout out Maverick Approach. Love it. I usually show at least one clip every single one of my own videos because the knowledge is great. The thought process is even better. Okay, this whole, like, if you're, depending on your age, you may not even know who these people are that have, met their demise in some of the craziest ways. Like, those wealthy Hollywood folks lived in pretty secure areas, but I guess if you're living with the person that's coming to get you, I guess security doesn't matter on that note. But there's a bunch of crazy theories surrounding why all these things are connected. I'm not going to speculate because some of them are pretty far-fetched, but they are interesting. And they're kind of wide open and endless. Feel free to do your research. And if you have some type of thought or something, put it in the comments. You know what I mean? Yeah. The whole age being the same of the two actors on the same show, passing away the same day, the coincidence between the two. There's this theory. I'll go ahead and share this. There is this theory that, once you make it to the apex of entertainment, Hollywood or whatever, they say you got to sell your soul or whatnot. Well, that contract, I've just heard around the conspiracy theory campfire, which is one of my favorites, that contract expires, depending on what you promised, what you gave up, what you sacrificed. That's where the 27 Club comes into play with all the famous artists that, passed away too soon and flew close to the sun, as they say. And it's the price they pay for getting famous that fast. I don't know if any of that's true. That's just one of those fun, entertaining theories. But interesting all the same. I can't continue without saying it. And I say this almost every time too. The world is so crazy. Yeah. I'm just thankful I'm here to witness it. Because, man, it is a thing. Okay, let's go. Let's roll on. Roll clip.
Right now, with your iris scan, they can tell if you're male or female. They can tell if you're a smoker. They can determine if you have cognitive inabilities like Alzheimer. They can even predict a heart disease, like if you're going to have a possible heart attack, all through your iris scan. And so they're going to control you through taxation, electric vehicles, green agenda. They're going to control you through AI innovation, and everybody's going to take it. They can know I'm going to have Alzheimer. They can help me. They know if I'm going to have a stroke or heart attack. All these IoT advancements, iris scanning. And so think about why Sam Altman wants iris scans. Whoever gets the most iris scans are going to have the largest database of accurate information. If he can have millions of people's iris scan, he'll have the largest database, and then he's going to feed it into ChatGPT, and then all the governments are going to go to ChatGPT to get this iris data. I mean, it's a genius scam for these corporations, but that's why I just want to warn you guys, I wouldn't comply to these iris scans, because that's the next level of invasiveness. They're going to say, we know you can't lie to us. Right now, with your iris scan, they can tell if you're male or female.
Here's the problem with, well, okay, there's multiple issues with this. It's using the word predicts, which is pretty broad, like, but, if you're somebody, a skeptical individual like myself, and you're like, hey, I think they have enough information about me already. I don't want any more biometric scans. I don't want any more of this crazy surveillance or, penetration into my private life just to have some type of cool technical aspect of my life. But if you get sick and now, your health is in demise, and they're like, look, we got this AI thing that could figure out what's wrong with you. And during this time, you don't care. You just want to get better. All we got to do is scan your iris, maybe your brain, let AI do a thing, and then we can fix you. Then you're in, right? I don't know. Something I was thinking about. Okay, let's go. Good.
Does the CIA listen through our phones and laptop cameras? Yes. I hate to say it. There was a dramatic leak in 2017 that the CIA came to call the Vault 7 disclosures. Gigabytes worth of documents leaked by a CIA technology engineer. What he told us was that the CIA can intercept anything from anyone, number one. Number two, they can remotely take control of your car through the car's embedded computer. To do what? To make you drive off a bridge, into a tree, to make you kill yourself and make it look like an accident. They can take over your smart television and turn the speaker into a microphone so that they can listen to what's being said in the room even when the TV is turned off. God knows what else that they can do that hasn't been leaked. Does the CIA listen through our phones and laptop cameras? Yes. I hate to say.
I think we all have some understanding of this, whether it's because you have agreed to, the terms and conditions. And usually we think, oh, it's some mega corporation trying to sell us stuff. So they get all kinds of stuff to find out what we're excited about, to see what makes us emotional, to see, what items they could sell us. There's supposedly in your technology here, yes, it's reading your eyes, like we just talked about. It's reading your heart rate, like blood flow and stuff. So if you're scanning stuff that excites you or makes you feel a certain way, they know they can get you pumped up or get you purchasing, all that kind of stuff. But for about, 3 or 4 years now, we here in this household, my family, been talking about getting a new TV because our TVs are kind of old, but they work just fine. So I'm like, I don't necessarily need a bigger, better anything. Plus, none of my TVs are smart TVs. Now, I know I still got cell phones and laptops and computers and stuff, so, but I don't need anybody looking at me through my TV while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean? Good God Almighty. Another thing comes to my mind is if you're being accused of a crime that you didn't commit, and all these things are watching us, I would be in court looking over to my lawyer saying, hey man, get with some of these 3-letter agencies and get me off. Because they know I was sitting in my room whenever what happened. Okay? I don't know. I was just thinking outside the box. All right, let's go. Do you see this?
Yeah, so crew for the next boat.
Tracy, thank you.
I'll explain. It's so eerie. Strange. This is in Washington, as you can tell up there. Washington State Ferries. Okay, what we're seeing right here, this ship that's just kind of floating, is a ghost ship that showed up here, which can be ultimately super dangerous because there's no one's controlling it, no crew, no power, no energy, just appeared. Like a scary movie. I think there is a scary movie called Ghost Ship or something. It also kind of makes me think of that movie that the Obamas produced. I can't remember the name of it now. I'm sure someone's like, it's such and such.
I've seen a lot of things in my almost.
Crazy. I just wanted to show that in case you hadn't seen that. Ghost boats in the harbor. Let's go. Speaking of Washington, I was going to put clips up to this, but man, the flooding that's going on there. And this is all I'm going to say about it. If you want to do any kind of research on where these areas in the United States, particularly, have been flooded or have had crazy fire burns, like wildfires and whatnot, and how they are entertainment, how they are strategically areas where smart cities are going, if you want to do any research, feel free. Weather manipulation, maybe. I don't know. Here we go. All right.
A judge just discovered a flaw in America's largest private surveillance network, and it's a nightmare for anyone who drives a car. The company is Flock Safety. They have cameras in thousands of cities that create a searchable map of your life. They sold it to police as a secure private system, but a judge in Washington just ruled that every photo their cameras take is a public record. In theory, that means anyone, your angry ex, a stalker, a private investigator, could file a request to see a log of where you drive. And the cities are so terrified of this ruling, they're now in a panic. This one ruling in Washington just exposed that the private surveillance network across the US, the one you drive through every day, might not be private after all. A judge just discovered a flaw in America's largest private surveillance network, and it...
I love this guy's channel. The Dylan Schmidt. Very cool. Because the stuff that's happening on a technical level with AI and surveillance, all that stuff, it's happening so fast, it's hard to keep up. And he does a real good job of showing us what's happening. And I've known for a while about this Flock thing, right? And it's their branding. And, flock has different meanings. But I just think about sheep. And a flock of sheep. And how the sheep are controlled by the shepherd. I don't know. Do with that what you will, but ain't no sheep up in here. All right, let's go.
This is a Renaissance painting called The Death of Saul. There's poor Saul right there meeting his demise. And in this painting, there are 3 dinosaur-looking creatures in the background that I'm about to give you a closer look. So here's the one right here.
Look at y'all.
And we have 2 more over here. That is a brontosaurus or a brachiosaurus-looking creature. Why would a Renaissance painter have these in his painting if he had never seen one before? Friends, dinosaurs weren't even known as far as what they looked like until the 1840s, and here we have in 1562 a Renaissance painting that has what looks like 3 dinosaurs in it. Either he'd seen dinosaurs in his day, or he'd heard about them described, and yet he put them in a historical depiction 3,000 years ago during the reign of King Saul. Interesting. I believe this is evidence that dinosaurs did survive the worldwide flood and that he saw these in 1562 in order to put them in the painting.
1562?
What do you think?
Hey, I love dinosaurs. I do. I have since I was a kid. I love dinosaurs. And they're riding dinosaurs. I really love that. The child in me loves that. But yeah, you know, the flood supposedly wiped out, and then we have the comet theory that wiped out, you know, dinosaurs. But stuff survives those type of catastrophes, and especially if it's a flood. You know, the shark has been around a long time because it's in the water. The crocodile, you know, water-based prehistoric stuff kind of did better. And the ocean is so undiscovered. Whatever it is, I know there's some craziness out there. You've seen clips, you don't know if they're real, but I have this distinct feeling in my heart of heart and my gut of guts that, yeah, the big boys are still rolling around out there somewhere. Okay, let's Osh.
We're being poisoned, and
all right. I thought this was so interesting. And before it runs, I want to give you a thought. And this is what came into my mind when I've watched this a couple times to try to really pick up what he's putting down. And it's, you know, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. We've heard that statement before. A smart person learns from his own mistakes, but a wise person learns from the mistakes of others. And now let's watch this. This is 2.5 minutes, but watch this.
We're being poisoned in a particular way. I would say we have effectively threatened to kill the goose that lays the golden eggs. The normal pattern for human beings is you inherit your ancestors' world. Every so often, that's not true. Every so often, a generation finds itself in a brand new circumstance. You know, you kayak across some body of water, and you end up in some foreign place in which the animals and plants aren't the same, and your old way of life isn't going to work, and you have to bootstrap something new. However, there is a threshold at which our amazing ability to adapt culturally and physiologically is outstripped. And that is the point at which technological change is so fast that you're not even an adult in the same environment you grew up in. That's what we now consistently live in, right? The world you and I now live in doesn't look anything like the world we grew up in, right? The number of radical differences in terms of the chemicals that we encounter, in terms of the behavior of other people, in terms of the information that comes into our eyes. These things have all been revolutionized. I've frankly seen several revolutions. You and I have both seen several revolutions already. You know, we had the computer, then we had the internet, then we had the smartphone, then we had social media. Now we're facing AI, right? Each of these things would take time to metabolize, to deal with the harms of them, to learn how to address them in a wise way. But we never get the chance to figure that out because the next one is already upon us. In fact, you ever go body surfing and you get into a situation where the waves are just coming too quick, and as soon as you catch your breath from one, the next one is on you, right? It's just like that. You can't do that, right? You need time to settle. And our rate of change is so high, this is what Heather and I call hypernovelty. Hypernovelty is the state at which even our amazing ability to rapidly adapt is incapable of keeping pace with technological change. That's where we are. We're being poisoned. And
I mean, that is so correct. Hypernovelty. When I say that, it doesn't really, I get what he's saying there. But in our day and age now, it's every day. It's a couple times a day I'll see a clip or a commercial or, you know, something for some new technology. And a lot of it has to do with AI these days, but learning models and quantum computers and 6G and all these things that are boom, 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 boom. We haven't even had time to learn from the mistakes yet. And there's something new. And all these things running in the background and mistakes to make and lessons to learn. That's not happening anymore. Damn. Okay? Damn. Yeah. Like my parents, my grandparents would have like really no words of wisdom to guide us through our current situation because nothing resembles the past. Nothing. You want to get deep when they're changing the past. Mandela and CERN, entertainment. I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, let's go. Roll it.
The Book of Enoch was discovered when, like, an adventurer was looking for the source of the Nile River, and he found it, and it was somewhere in Ethiopia. He gets to know the locals there, and they're Ethiopian Jews that have been there for 3,000 years. They take him up to their, whatever you call it, their church, and he sees this giant book. You know, like a giant book. What's that? He said, that's the Bible. He said, oh, it's a Bible? They said, no, that's the Bible. You know, when the King James Bible, I don't know how many books it is, like 66 or something like that, where this had over 100 books. And in there were Book of Enoch, the Book of Giants, all this other stuff. So you have Genesis that starts, basically let there be light. But in this expanded Bible, you have all this stuff that happened before then. So we know a little bit about Moses from the Bible, but if you read these other books, you learn all about Moses and Enoch and Methuselah, and these men are all related, and going back this like 10 or 12 generations from Adam, it's all in there. So this book is discovered, and they've had this for thousands of years. But then much later, the Dead Sea Scrolls are found. And then among the thousands of parchment there's the Book of Enoch, copies and copies of it, and the Book of Giants. The Book of Enoch was discovered when, like, an adventurer...
I love the whole idea. I don't like the fact that they've been hidden from us or changed. I don't like doing stuff on religion. I don't mind spirituality, of course. But, yeah, there's a lot of information that people are missing out on in what's considered the good book. You can do your research. You can Google these things, but I would suggest going a little deeper if you're serious about it, about the books that have been left out. You can research the Ethiopian Bible, the Council of Nicaea, Constantine, all these people that got their hands on the information before, like, the rest of society did, or the fact that if you were caught trying to read the Bible that was in Latin, you would be done away with. What are they? Is there something to hide? Do we have secret powers? Did they distort the truth to control us? I just entertaining kidding. Look into it though, man. Look into it. Let's go.
Okay, so NASA casually announced that they're going to be launching UFO-shaped satellites into orbit, and that's starting tomorrow around noon.
Today
is when the launching is going to begin. But I'm going to link the article, but essentially what it's saying is that right now they used kind of boxier, square-shaped satellites, and they're kind of inefficient. And if they make them flat and UFO-shaped, then they can utilize the space more. Which, if you know my channel at all, you know that I'm leaning towards UFO, alien life is here. The sightings have increased like 100-fold over the past couple years. They've been meeting in Congress talking about alien life and these ships. So I don't think it's a coincidence that NASA's pulling this type of thing. To where if you see something in the sky, you can be like, oh, well, that's just NASA. But I'm going to link the article in the description. You guys can read it for yourselves. And it's got all kinds of uses and excuses on why they're doing this. Okay, so NASA casually announced that they're going to be launching UFO-shaped...
That's today. Today is the 18th. Thursday of December the 18th. So if you see something crazy in the sky, maybe it's this. But this is for entertainment again. If you do any research on Project Bluebeam, and there's information about it, so that has been released. It's got some redacted stuff, but there is still enough information in there on BB. I just think this is crazy, man. All right. I got some clips coming up. There's this new movie, Steven Spielberg, coming out. And I just think it's rather ironic that this is starting today. And then I also wanted to talk about this. If you've made it this far in the video, yes. It's a test. I'm just kidding. So there's all these predictions, and I don't like to join in on the bandwagon of something's happening December 19th, but there is talk of some type of thing happening December 19th. And I've heard crazy stuff. I've heard, okay, like the Epstein list. And then 3i Atlas has entered the picture again, and it never really left. We just kind of stopped talking about it. But yeah, tomorrow is supposed to be a thing. And is there a connection to this new Steven Spielberg movie? Because it's about aliens and whatnot. And it's kind of trippy. We'll get into it. I got some clips. And then these Millennium Falcon looking like Star Wars satellites now. There's going to be floating around out there that we'll be catching with telescopes. Was that a man-made thing? Was that a reverse engineer thing? Was that a... God... Strap in, y'all. We're living a video game. Let's go.
If space is freezing cold, how do satellites and spacesuits not freeze solid? We're told the vacuum of space drops to nearly minus 270 degrees Celsius. Colder than dry ice, colder than the deepest part of Antarctica. Yet somehow, fragile metal machines are up there working perfectly. How is that even possible? Metal doesn't love the cold. It shrinks, cracks, and stops working. So what are we really seeing in those videos? Picture this, a satellite gliding above Earth. Half of it is burning in direct sunlight, over 250 degrees Fahrenheit. The other half sits in shadow at minus 250 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a 500-degree swing.
I had to stop it for a little bit because I didn't realize there was music on this. So I'm going to pause a little bit, talk about it. But yeah, like most of us have experienced temperature changes and how, metal, wood, our bodies react to it. Like I lived in Colorado for a while and I've seen cold temperatures crack steel. Just do really powerful, crazy stuff to matter that is being affected by the temperature. Of course, like asphalt melting in 106-degree weather, and yet it's 500 degrees. And they're wearing, I don't know what they got, but it's got to be, reverse engineered Superman skin. Just thought process stuff, just throwing that out there. Let's continue.
Every 45 minutes, no cracks, no frozen wires, no broken parts. Just flawless performance. And astronauts? They wear thin layers of fabric that somehow keep them alive in temperatures that would freeze solid steel. No ice, no foggy visors, just smooth movements against a pitch-black background that never seems to change. Ever notice how every space clip looks almost identical? Same flat horizon, same lighting, same glow. Almost like it's filmed in one endless dark studio. And here's the strangest part. For all the satellites said to orbit Earth, have you ever seen real footage of one being repaired, drifting, or malfunctioning out there? No. Not CGI, not animation, actual raw footage no one has. So maybe the question isn't how they avoid freezing, but where they really are, because if space is truly that cold, metal should snap, batteries should die, and humans should freeze in seconds. Maybe the biggest mysteries aren't hiding deep in space. Maybe they're right above our heads, wrapped in a story we stopped questioning. If that got you thinking, keep watching to find out what comes next. If space is freezing...
Very interesting concept there. One more thing before we go. We're already at like 34 minutes. I was a cable guy for several years there when I lived in Colorado. And when it snowed or got close to 30 degrees at all, anywhere around the 30, 32 mark, the coaxial that we would use, you couldn't even bend it. It became so hard to work with. We'd have a blowtorch and we'd have to heat the cable up to actually be able to do anything with it. Entertainment, let's go. The government in Bulgaria has officially resigned. Look at all
What do I
those-
keep telling you, man? There's like 250 people at the top of the food chain trying to control 8 billion. Once people truly figure that out, everything will change. Well, Bulgaria just showed you what the fucking game plan is if you really want to do it.
I've talked about it before. I'm not going to say it again. But there it is. There is where the true power lies. That's all I'm going to say. Entertainment, roll up.
That clicking scene in Spielberg's Disclosure Day teaser that everybody's talking about, what if it isn't alien speech?
Okay, hallucination hippies, love it. Last couple clips, we're going to talk about this movie. I love Alien, anything to do with space, spacecraft, whatever, right? So I definitely want to check out this movie. It looks crazy. But there is hundreds, maybe even thousands by now of clips, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere, people talking about the language that is happening. We're going to see a scene. Put in the comments what it reminds you of. I'll tell you what it reminds me of by the second clip. Well, watch this. Movie looks cool, though.
At all. So stay with me on this one. There's a moment where the main character, played by Emily Blunt, seems overwhelmed, almost overtaken, and suddenly loses normal language.
Good morning, Kansas City.
Scary.
Let's take a look at today. Let's today is today's
So instead of words, we hear clicks, guttural sounds, raw, non-symbolic noise. And there's a lot of theories floating around. Ancient language, hidden audio messages, possession, even something artificial trying to communicate. And the religious imagery, the crosses, the nuns, I mean, that's clearly not accidental. But I think that most of those interpretations might miss what's actually truly unsettling here. Language isn't just how humans talk. It's how we compress reality into something that we can manage. When language collapses, meaning doesn't disappear, it overwhelms. Clicks, percussive sounds, they're not symbolic. They don't explain anything. They behave more like signals or a raw output, which suggests that the character may not be speaking at all. They might be experiencing something that simply can't be translated into human language. And that opens a darker possibility. What if the sounds aren't coming from an outside intelligence? What if they are what the human brain produces when it's forced to process information way beyond its symbolic limits? Not communication, not possession, complete cognitive overload made audible. If that's the case, Disclosure Day isn't really asking whether non-human intelligence exists. It's asking whether the human mind is structurally capable of facing that without breaking.
Good question.
So the real horror isn't contact, it's comprehension of it. What do you think that scene represents? Alien communication or the moment human language completely fails? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear.
Love it. Love the idea. Love his thinking outside the box. Yeah. And what if there is a nefarious plot that's banking on this? Us having overload and glitching out. You know what I mean? Damn, those sounds. Whew. Okay, one more.
What if I told you this strange alien clicky noise language that was on the Disclosure Day trailer might actually be older than human civilization itself? Check this out. What What's interesting is that clicking sounds like this exist in only a few human languages, spoken by some of the oldest surviving human populations on Earth, the San people of southern Africa. Genetic studies suggest their lineage diverged from the rest of humanity incredibly early, possibly over 100,000 years ago. The San people believed in a spirit creator called Kagan, a trickster and a shapeshifter. And most often, Kagan took the form of a praying mantis, but also animals, insects, even parasites. And here's where it gets strange. In the teaser, animals aren't just present, they're being used, controlled like vessels. And humans too. And noticed who's there when this happens. Priests, nuns, symbols of possession. This doesn't feel like really classic extraterrestrials, it feels even older. What if these aren't beings from another planet, but something interdimensional? Something that's always been here, slipping between forms, using bodies when it needs to. The San people believe the world moves in cycles, creation, disruption, and renewal. Not the end of the world, but the end of a world. So could this be about the mantid alien beings that people have encountered and also been abducted by? And also in this movie, it seems to be that people are channeling a alien consciousness, right? So is disclosure actually an interdimensional consciousness which is being channeled through the natural world and humans as a whole, making it interdimensional, mate? Seems to be. It doesn't seem to be like your classic aliens are going to land on the White House, but also this seems to be something way more elevated than that, and also possibly higher dimensional. You guys don't know what you think. What if I told you this?
This is that's the last clip, everybody. We're done. But that I saw the advertisement and I heard the clicky, and the first thing I thought was the tribes in Africa that like if you there's whole clips of them saying their name, and their name is like Shodat. I think it's freaking cool. It's rad. But yeah, what if they learned that from a visitor? I'm just interesting. And then the first comment on here reminds me of the movie Signs. Yeah, where they're picking them up on the baby monitor on top of the car when they're passing the baby monitor. And when they both touch it together, it's like so crazy. Why do they keep propping up that sound, propagating that in the movies? What is that? Is that a part of the... Just kidding. Blue Beam playing. I don't know. Entertainment. Okay. All right. We're done. Hey. Thank you so very much. Feeling way better today. I'm about to go hit the gym and hoodoo's cunts. I swear. Oh, man. It's good. Good day. I slept good. Been drinking my clove water. Let's go. All right, y'all. Dick's going to dip. I'll see you on the flip. I'm going to fire up my music and we're going to get out of here and take this day. Yeah. Whoa, we're popping off already. Okay, remember, I'm just encouraging you to take your day. Hopefully giving you some entertainment along the way. Oh, I need to remember that. That rhymes. Okay, that's pretty good. But I try to leave you with some words that have been helping my life for a while now. And it's spread your love, share your knowledge, and you'll take your day. It's not that difficult. You barely even need to think about it. And it kind of keeps things in a positive light. It does. So yeah, when I say take your day, I'm really saying spread your love, share your knowledge. Boom, bam. Okay, that's it. Thank you once again. I love you. Whoa! Oh yeah, I'm planning on putting up a video this weekend. Get ready. That's all I'm going to say.